opening power-up call. Keep this one short, keep this one simple. I'm out here in the wild. Obviously, this isn't the natural habitat. This isn't the normal studio. So I'm going to keep this quick just so I can get back to what I am doing right now. First of all, I'm going to check, make sure it looks like the audio is working good. Yeah, looks like the audio is good. All right. So before we dive in, I need to make a major disclaimer here because I'm going to be talking about a concept that's fairly nuanced. There is going to be a tendency for some of you to want to take this and run with this in the wrong way. You need to understand that there exists a bias towards action. Right now, I can have you guys go out and I can tell you guys the importance of rest. I can tell you when to rest and how to rest. And some of you are going to take it as an excuse to not work hard. Rest is important, but only in the context of an extreme amount of output. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how to rest today, when to rest, how to take time, like how to do your sleep, how to rest between your G work sessions so you can get the most done. However, none of this means jack squat if you aren't pushing forward and working really diligently as the main focus of your time. If 99% of your time isn't hard work towards meaningful goals, then what I'm about to share with you could be terribly counterproductive. So I'm almost hesitant to share what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today about this. But I'm assuming you guys are going to be mature about this. I'm going to give you guys some information that will help you. Now, I've always talked about the ideal way to structure your time as you're going through this program is like 3 days of hard war mode and then a recovery day. Obviously, during that recovery day, you still work, but you allow yourself to maybe sleep 8 hours instead of the 3 to 5 you would be doing during war mode, right? But I'm going to give you some more importance about this. I've talked to several people who have gone through and they've stayed in war mode for too long, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, get 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night, and their ability to focus goes off the rails and the quality of their work like nosedives, right? Now, this isn't burnout. This is simply, it's not burnout. It's something completely different. It's an inability to refuel their mind, right? Your mind has a sort of, it's like a muscle, right? You have a certain capacity for performance and you need to fuel that muscle in order to perform over a period of time. Once you reach that limit, you need to reset and you need to refuel and allow that adaptation to occur. Same thing happens with your mind and ability to work for focused amounts of time. You start working, you're going to reach a limit. You need to give yourself that rest in order to turn around and work at a high output rate. If you continue to do push-ups and you reach your limit and continue to try, you're not going to make any kind of output. You need to give yourself a rest. It's the same thing with your brain, right? So when you do a G work session, that 10-minute break between your 90-minute work session is work. It is extremely vital. It's how you refuel your brain and allow yourself to actually throw yourself back into the actual work that you're doing. If you don't do that 10-minute break, if you don't do it correctly, you'll sit down, try and work, and you'll find yourself that it's very, very difficult to focus. So let's talk about the 10-minute break. When you're doing the 10-minute break, you want to do things that are not cognitively intensive. If you can go for a walk, if you can do push-ups, those things are pretty good. If you can maybe listen to some music, play with the dog, that type of stuff, that type of behavior for some reason resets your brain's ability to focus when you sit back down for your G work session. Here's what won't reset your ability to focus. If you spend those 10 minutes scrolling on TikTok or online or doing some other type of highly cognitive demanding task, it's going to continue to drain that muscle of your brain, and it's going to keep you from being able to focus intelligently and powerfully over the next 90 minutes. That 10 minutes is an investment, and it is work, and you need to view it as work. So make sure that when you're doing your breaks between your G work sessions, you're actually doing the things that are going to allow your brain to reset and actually do the work. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're intaking enough electrolytes. Those type of things will help your cognition over those G work sessions so that you can actually do productive work, right? So that's extremely important. Again, but don't get carried away with this. It's not time to frolic and play. It is work. You are simply resetting your brain so you can get back to work. And over time, your ability to work and stay focused will increase, right? I personally don't buy into the whole idea that you can only do 3 hours of focused work a day. I think that's terribly limiting. I personally work significantly more than that. I know many people who work significantly more than that and highly productive, deep focused work. You have the ability to build that capacity. However, you need to make sure that periodically you are refueling that brain, refueling your ability to focus. Sleep is a big part of this, right? You can take time to sleep as needed. Don't overdo it. Don't believe that sleep is some magical thing, but you need to make sure you have a foundation of good sleep, right? Those 2-3 hours that you do during war mode should be high. They're going to be really good just because you're really tired, but those during your recovery days, the days when you allow yourself to get 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep, Make sure that you're getting that good sleep. Allow yourself to do that because it's going to fuel your ability to focus and do well over the next week, right? Now, be careful with this. Be very, very careful with this, because if you go too far that way, you're going to start geeking out and thinking that you have to optimize every little thing. And then if you didn't get perfect sleep that night, if you got a score of like 64%, then you're going to feel like you're not going to be able to work. That kind of idea is very dangerous. You need to avoid that. I wouldn't geek out about this stuff, but I would just allow yourself to sleep when needed. Every 3 to 4 days, allow yourself to get a nice full night's rest so that you can turn around and work at the intensity that you need to be successful. It's extremely important. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this out of context. Make sure that you are viewing your rest as work and not as an escape, right? It's not a way to escape from the work. It is work itself, right? And to add on top of that, there is something to be said about taking time to go and have wonderful human experiences with friends, family relations, that type of stuff, to go on adventure. There's a saying that if you want to be a good writer, live a life that's like an interesting life. Someone said that, like, live a life that's interesting. It's extremely true. Your ability to bring rich perspective onto your writing and onto the projects you work on will depend in great measure on the work, on the actual life that you live outside of the keyboard, right? So view that time investment into traveling, into spending time with others, into going on adventures and creating stories in your own life. View that as work as well, because it is something that will pay dividends on the back end. It'll spark your creativity, and it will give you a richness of human experience that will allow you to write more persuasively. So that being said, these concepts need to be applied in a balanced way, in a nuanced and aware manner. If you completely lean too far on the side of the pendulum, it's not going to work. You need to make sure you're maintaining a balance, but make sure that you're not forgetting these very important foundational pieces. They're things that are going to be very helpful for you as you continue to go through the boot camp and as you do the work inside of your Legion, start earning your first money in this program. You have to make sure that you are fueling your brain and you're giving your brain the material and the reset it needs to turn around and focus at a high level. If not, you're going to experience some level of your light, your energy, your ability to perform will shrink. You need to make sure that you're able to switch on and switch off periodically so that you can maintain high intensity over a longer period of time. These are the things that I found that have worked for me. Make sure you guys are being very careful about how to apply them. If you have questions as you're thinking about how to apply this for yourself, be sure to tag me inside the Mindset channel. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. All right. This has been a good call. Again, I decided to keep this one short. The next couple ones are going to be out in the wild, outside of the normal home base. So times might be different, situations might be different, the call might be a little bit different, which might be fun for you guys. So stay tuned, keep your eyes out on the announcements channel. I'll keep you guys updated in there. It's been a good call. I will talk with you guys again tomorrow.